Hello and welcome to Law and Order SVU here on FANVERSATION. This is season 24, episode 11, Soldier Up. I am Yael Tygiel. This is Taylor Gates. Hello, Taylor.
Sure is. Hello.
Hi. Listen, I don't know if anyone's watching, anyone joined us live. I don't know that we announced that we were doing this today, but we're here and we're doing it. Okay. Before we, sorry guys, this is going to be rough. Before we do that, if you are in need of help, please reach out to RAINN. Their number is 1-800-656-4673, 1-800-656-4673. Taylor, tell me what 4673 spells out.
It spells hope.
It does spell hope. I am hopeful we make it through this without me swearing. That's bull.
Anyway, cute, but
sure.
Not realistic.
If you are new to SVU, welcome. Please consider this your content warning. This episode did deal with some serious issues. I know that gang violence is a very serious issue. Rape as a threatening tool, especially within gangs. Like, yes, these are serious issues. Our show is not serious. We will say some stuff. Yep. This is your content warning. Please do not continue watching our show if you do not feel that you can handle the stuff that will come out of my mouth. We do have people in the chat already chatting it up. If you're watching us live, we have Taylor Strickland. Hello, Taylor.
Love it.
Taylor.
There's enough room for all the Taylors.
Yes. Many Taylors are welcome. Lila Clover is here from Australia.
I'm like so tempted to do an accent, but like you will probably click off if I do that, and I want you to stay here. So
now I really want that. Lizette is here. Lizette, what a lovely name. Hi, Lizette. Oh, so good. Okay. Here is the quick cap for season 24, episode 11, Soldier Up. While Benson tries to help a gang member who attacked her, Duarte reveals a shocking piece of evidence in the case. Finn is tasked with hiring new detectives for the Bronx. Okay.
Sure. For sure.
I think I could speak. Aaliyah's here. Hello, Aaliyah. I think I could speak for everyone. I feel very confident that this is one of the few times I can speak for everyone. This episode is so boring.
Like, I will say, hot take, I think I liked it better than the last episode.
Really? I disagree.
Yeah, just because I think there were more funny lines.
Sure.
Like, if we're going to compare them, and I, like, hate the storyline in both, like, the funny lines is going to push it over the edge.
Sure.
And we'll talk about some of the things that I quite enjoyed when we get to the poll. But, yeah, go home. Okay. Why are we still at the Bronx? I'm tired of this. You don't go here. Like, stop.
I'll say this. So for those who haven't caught on, it's apparently 3 episodes tying together or whatever. The last episode felt like they were trying to do organized crime, and this episode felt like they were trying to do SVU, but bad. It was, guys, there's one episode of SVU that I consider a bad episode. Just the one that I'm like, this is a bad episode.
Where Barba leaves.
Yes, that is in fact the worst episode in 24 seasons. That is the one bad one. This is close to that.
Wow.
Uh-huh.
I don't know that I would say, I don't know. I'm just like, I'm tired of like them trying to do this. I think I did appreciate in this one that we had at least a little bit of actual SVU case. I was like, okay,
but the case last time, the SVU case last time was so much more interesting.
You're right. I'm going to say at least they are doing an SVU case when they try to do this. Like, I'll give them that, because that's happened before where it's literally not been SVU at all. And I'm like, this is a cop out. Like, this is not okay. At least they're kind of tying it. Like, I'll give them that tiny bit of credit. But why is Duarte still here? Go home. I'm so tired. If we're going to have anybody, have the rich guy. He's fun.
Yes. You know, it's so funny is that I was so bored this episode. But the chat is agreeing with you totally. Alice Jones in the chat says, felt more organized than last episode. Aaliyah says, I liked this ep way more than last week. Yeah. Yeah. If you are listening to us or watching us and not live with us, you can join us. I want to just tell people how to get into this chat and be part of the conversation. Every Sunday, well, most Sundays on the FANVERSATION YouTube channel, we are live. And this is where you can join our chat and literally just join us on YouTube and be part of the conversation. I know that is a question I received on how to do it. And I thought, we have nothing else to talk about, so I'll tell you how to do it.
Fair point.
Okay. Let's discuss the rape tree.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay, so first of all, Duarte has known about it for a year and has been hiding it and everyone's annoyed about it. That feels like something that he could get in trouble for. You know what I mean? Like, it feels like something that should go in his folder, withholding evidence or
also and maybe they tried to explain it and I blocked it out because I'm going to be honest, I did pause this episode to get snacks a lot because I needed breaks.
Sure.
Why did he not tell anyone?
Because he he thought he could use it somehow, rather than show his cards. I think he's an idiot.
So stupid.
It's the stupidest thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sure.
Taylor in the chat says, I like this episode. I like the episode. Bx9 is starting to bore me. And Laz says, I like this episode, but why?
Yeah.
They brought Bx9. Yeah. Yeah. I don't.
More like BX bye.
Nice.
Not really. That was pretty bad, but
it was better than the episode.
Yay. The bar is underground, you guys.
Listen, here's what happened. I was so bored. The first time I watched it, I was like, okay, and I'm watching. And then when I sat down to watch it a second time, there's a lot of me being like, oh, stop. I'm bored.
Also,
yeah.
Not to jump around.
Who gives a
Olivia's characterization is so weird. It was so weird. She's trying to help this kid. And for what? Stop.
To get to his boss. No, I disagree with you on that. I think that her characterization made complete sense.
The way that she spoke to him, though, and cared, I don't know.
Last episode, she was... this is wrong. I disagree. I think that her character made complete sense, right? Benson is compassionate, always. And so this kid, yes, he did attack her, but he is a child, and he is a child who was forced into this life. And I think that it makes complete sense that Benson, of all people, would be protecting him, especially last episode when they were you shot him in the knee and on the head, smart thinking. She's yeah, because he's a child.
Yeah,
so I understand it, especially to put it up against asshole Duarte. I think that felt right. I think her screaming at the tree was weird.
Maybe that's what. Maybe it just felt inconsistent, I guess, because she was so calm, in certain. I don't know. It just was. It was a lot, and maybe I just didn't care about the kid, so that's why I was
sure.
What?
I also didn't care about the kid, but my favorite part to jump around is when Duarte's trying to play her game and is yeah, your mom didn't want to get hurt. And she's what he means is shut up and let me handle this, you moron.
Yeah.
I loved that.
Yeah. I just get him off my stop with the gangs. This isn't gangs.
I do appreciate that the gang case very much intersects with the rape case, that it makes sense. They go hand in hand, and that is how it works. We've seen before how gangs use rape as a tool. And so to see it, I think makes sense. I think I don't care about this gang. I don't care about Duarte's gang unit. I don't care about the Bronx.
Right. That's, yeah, okay, that is fair. I feel like if it was more like integrated, not in this weird triology, whatever we're trying to do, like if it was just one episode, sure.
Absolutely.
But like the way that maybe the fact that it's dragging out so much when I didn't really care in the first place. Stop.
100%. I think that this 3 parts unnecessary.
I didn't
2
really
parts
want
unnecessary.
one part, frankly.
Yeah. I think if it had been a part, we would have been like, oh, what an interesting case. And they tied it into an older, like a previous episode. Cool. We would have been like satisfied. But now they're like, hey, maybe they're trying to backdoor pilot gang unit. And we're like, and nobody wants it.
Are. But the thing is, I feel like it's just so forced. Like, you can do the rape tree, you can do the like deaf school case without this overarching Oscar pop. Like, it. Why does it have to tie in? It so doesn't. It loses nothing chopping that off and doing it separate.
You know what's even more interesting is that for whatever reason we're connecting this Oscar Papa crap, right? Like we're connecting it to Duarte and Oscar Papa, sure. But what I find the most confusing is why is our squad being forced to deal with whatever like political bullshit is happening in the Bronx SVU, right? That's the other question. And maybe it's that they were like, hey, we want them to do this case that ties into the previous one. And the only way to do it is to essentially get rid of all of Bronx SVU so that our team is the ones handling it. But it just seems like weird. It's like they cleared it out so that we could cover it and they didn't need to. We could have given us a new gang or, with a rape tree in Manhattan. Like, why not be like, wow, we hadn't heard about this one. That's why we haven't heard about the tree, because they've gotten so unnoticed.
Yeah, I agree. It's all the extras. Like, I've said this before. I watch SVU for the cases. Like, and yes, I love our characters dealing with the cases. I don't care about the politics of I don't care. I never have cared. Frankly, I don't think you're ever going to get me to care. So just give me standalone cases. Occasionally we can see Noah, or we can see someone get married. I don't care. That's fine. Occasionally. But don't be trying to House of Cards politics this, because that is not what I'm here for.
I think it might be one of the reasons that we, like, yes, McGrath is a piece of crap. Like, as a character, he's an asshole. But also, we've never had to deal with the, like, person above the captain so much. And it almost feels like once Benson is captain of the squad, they're like, well, she's always had like a boss to fight with, and so we need to create a boss, and he's like too high, so he's moving shit around, and I'm like, but I don't care.
And like, I would rather us see the flip side of like Olivia now actually being in charge and not having to deal with that, and developing the characters beneath her in the hierarchy by seeing them clash more. I love a Muncie Olivia clash moment, and we're getting like crumbs of that when we have her deal with McGrath and Bronx and all this stuff that I don't want her to deal with. I want to actually see her in power having to deal with her crazy wrong crew. That's what I'm here for. That's what I've always been here for.
I agree. I miss, her not trusting Rollins, and I miss baby Dodds going rogue. Like I miss that. And so I think I agree with you. I'd rather see her deal with her underlings than her have to deal with the politics. Lizette asks, what about Chief, Dodds, and Garland? They were very infrequently this involved and annoying. Like Dodds would show up when like I want to say it was Holden's manifesto where Noah was in the hospital and there was Holden going around. Like that was so interesting because honestly, he showed up just to be like, why aren't you doing your job?
And honestly, I'm going to say it, even when they were here, as much as I preferred their characters over McGrath, I didn't really care about their storylines as much either. It's just not my thing. And now we're adding not my thing to someone so unlikable and annoying. It's just the worst combination for me. Like, I love Garland as a character. I didn't love his storylines, frankly, just because of that's not why I watched the show. And I wish he was like playing a different character with a similar personality. You know what I mean? That's what I would rather see. I just don't. I'm not here for the.
I agree. I feel like McGrath originally he showed up and he was this real obnoxious asshole, and I thought the point was to like, you know, see that clash and then he'd either soften or disappear. Like that's where I thought we were going. And then they were like, oh, also he might be abusive. And I was like, okay, well that's given us a whole like, oh, he's going to become the perp in the case. Cool. But we never went there. So now he's just this asshole who's still around.
And adding nothing really, in my
opinion. Yeah. Whereas I think Dodds at least gave us Baby Dodds, which I thought was really interesting in that like we have a spy in our crew. And then I would say the best performance from Dodds is when Baby Dodds dies. Like that was so heartbreaking. So, you know, that was interesting. And as for Garland, the most interesting thing was that he was trying to reform the police system, and that's why they got rid of it.
Yeah, and I'm going to be honest, it's sort of a bad look. I feel like maybe I would have been more invested, but they just dropped him. And now we're not talking about it at all, which feels very pandery in a way, because, you know, obviously he was brought in when there was like a lot of the BLM protests and all of that. And so it's kind of not a good look that he's not here and we're not talking about it anymore. If we were at least still bring up those conversations as, you know, kind of uneven as they sometimes are spoken about on SVU, at least there's the effort there. And the fact that it's not a through line is a little bit, it feels a little ick to me, honestly.
I mean, I agree. I think last episode we had there was like a thing where McGrath was like, you know, this guy sued the NYPD and we're the NYPD, we're so important and blah, blah. And like literally we, you know, in the Bronx, we see there is that Blue Lives Matter poster. And then I'm sure people noticed, I can't be the only one who saw it, that literally behind McGrath when he's having his arguments with whoever he's dealing with in this episode, I didn't even understand what he was dealing with, but there was a huge flag, a huge Blue Lives Matter flag. And I was like, guys, too subtle.
Yeah, and we talked about it last week. It's like you can put those things in, but you can't just not bring them up because it is such a charged thing to see on screen and such a charged conversation that ignoring it is weird and like a little bit concerning because it's like, is that what these characters believe? All of them? Yikes, if so, you know?
That's the thing that I'm saying is like we only seem to see it, and maybe I'm just missing it in our squad room, but we only seem to see it when we're not in our squad room. And I think that you're trying to say something, so just let's say it and deal with it. Like, let's deal with it.
You've never been one for subtlety. Like, no shade, but the show's not subtle. So
I thought you were saying me. I was like, no, I don't subtle.
No, well, you're not. But SVU's not, and that's okay, honestly, with a show like this.
Yes,
but you really can't be subtle by doing stuff like that. Have the conversation if you're gonna have it there, I think.
Yeah, Taylor in the chat says McGrath is not my favorite. He gets on my nerves. Yeah, he's the worst. And Elise says McGrath's influence feels forced, 100%. And also, Lizette says also from the early seasons there was Chief of Detectives Muldrew. I do not recall. Yeah, is that the older white guy who used to come in and yell at Kragen? Because he literally would only show, if that's who it is, he only showed up when like either like a cop's kid was missing or whatever, or like SVU messed up so much, he'd literally show up, yell at him and go away and we wouldn't have to deal with him. Whereas McGrath is like in these episodes, and if he becomes a series regular, I'm gonna be so mad.
Oh, don't even speak that into existence.
Here's some things I want to shout out. So last episode, somebody in the chat, and I can't remember who, I want to say thank you, let us know that Terry Serpico plays McGrath and his wife wrote the episode. His wife is Kadia Saraf, who is literally attorney Anya Avital, who is the woman from the DOJ. There's the two people from the DOJ. There's the tall black man and then the woman. It's the woman. That's his wife. she wrote last episode.
Doing double duty.
Yeah. So of course she's very highly seen in these episodes.
I love that.
Hilarious. Lila's asking if Barba's gonna come back. No.
I mean, we hope,
but not to be our Barba.
Maybe to shake up the marriage between Carisi and Rollins.
I mean, I would love that.
I had to say, like, we couldn't not.
Thank you.
Yeah, of course.
This Chief of D's Muldrew was from season 6, 7, 8, 9, 11. Is he the like bigger bald dude who yells at? Look him up, please. He's the Chief of Detectives Muldrew, Muldrew. Is it who I'm thinking?
Yeah, it's the bald guy with glasses.
All right, so it's exactly what I'm thinking of. Great. He like showed up, yelled at Cragen to do his job in the month.
I don't really remember him well. Let me look.
I just like remember him coming in full uniform into Cragen's office and yelling at him. That's like the only memory I have.
Okay, so he's in like 8 episodes, it seems.
Okay.
Well, guess what? McGrath has been in 8 this season, so.
Okay. I'm looking through my notes. There's very few of them because I was so bored. At the end, the DOJ leaves the Bronx, and the Bronx is getting new detectives. That said, I want to talk about a Detective Churlish. Why can't she join our team?
I agree.
I love her attitude. I love her, the fact that she was originally called the mayor, that they were like, she's going to be our boss one day. Bring her to our team. As much as we're like, yeah, Bruno, like he's funny and his interactions with Finn are great. She seems like a good cop. Let's bring her.
Agreed. If we're gonna bring in someone new, it should be her.
Yeah. Although I do really enjoy the Bruno Finn dynamic.
Me too. Maybe they can go out for beers, and that's fine.
And Bruno will pay. Yeah, he can pop in and out.
He can pop in.
Yeah. You know what? Muncie can go back to gang unit.
No, I like her. I don't want her to leave.
I really like that she got mad at Duarte this episode. I'd like to see that continue.
It was such a childish reaction, though. I was like, punch him or something, pushing it. Like, come on. Throw hands. Throw hands if you're going to throw hands.
Girl.
I live for the drama,
All right. Everyone's in the chat saying that I'm right as to who I think this person, the Muldrew, was. So thanks, everybody.
Yeah.
I don't. What do you want to talk about? Anyone in the chat? Anything in this episode you want us to talk about?
I want to talk about.
You want to talk about Bugbear?
Well, yeah, but first I want to talk about how they made the first mistake, and it turned out to be backfire in a different way. But when they were talking, was it Maria? That was her name, right? Maria was the
woman,
girl in the restaurant, the victim they were talking.
Yep, to. Maria.
Yeah. So they kept saying, "I promise, no one's gonna know that we talked to you. I promise." You cannot make that promise. You can make it word it in a different way. I promise I won't tell anyone, blah, blah, blah. But when they kept repeating, I promise no one's gonna know. Whenever they say that, someone always finds out. And so I was like, oh, someone is going to find out, because they keep reassuring her with these solid, concrete words that you really cannot say. And I was yelling on my screen, stop promising that. You can't promise it. Anyway, that bothered me so much. And then obviously, turned out a little something different went wrong there. But you can't say that.
Okay, so when Benson comes in and has to deal with Papa and whatever and leaves, and the girl says she's
Papa.
I think my problem is, and maybe I'm wrong, but remind me, Spanish speakers, isn't that potato? Isn't his last name Potato?
It's like reminding me of like the daddy vibe, you know what I'm
Yes,
saying?
I
Like
know
just
what you're
pick
saying.
a different name. Like I don't like people saying, "Hey, Papa." Like stop. It gives me the oops, you
Okay,
know.
so Oscar, the head of
Oscar,
Bx9.
yes,
So he does this, scare tactic or whatever. First of all, sir, you claim you're not a gang and you have two people with like machine guns. So, there's
I
that.
have to say, did kind of like the scene where they walk in and he's just like eating at the
Eating.
like. I thought that was kind of cool and scary. I did like that a little bit, and then it went on for way too long. But the beginning, I was like, ooh, spicy, you know.
um I think that the when they leave, right? When Benson leaves and Maria's like, "I'm sorry," and she goes, "Me too." I was like, the girl has been hit. The girl is injured. She was forced to do this. You can't be mad, Benson.
Yeah,
Because it wasn't like
right,
I'm sorry too. It was like, oh, how,
right.
like, I'm sorry.
You're
You
having
betrayed us.
empathy for the little kid that shot you, but you can't have empathy for her. Maybe that's the inconsistent
Sure.
characterization I'm thinking of. Like this girl's
Yes.
a victim too, clearly.
Yeah. Alice in the chat says, I was confused as to why Benson was annoyed. I didn't think Maria set her up intentionally. I think, yeah, I agree.
Like
I
what's
agree.
intentional in this case, you know? Because obviously these people
But
are
also,
terrifying.
she called. That's the other part, right? Is there's no way that Oscar, the head of BX9, would have said, call Muncie, who would then call Benson, and she would, you know what I mean? Like,
He doesn't know who
Muncie was
Muncie
going to show up.
is. Muncie is
Right.
on his radar. She's so irrelevant to him.
Ugh. Can we talk about Bugbear?
Yeah, we sure can.
I love it. That's such a stupid name.
Me too. Me too. We'll get to that.
Oh, Bugbear. What a
Bugbear.
stupid name. That's all I wanted to say. It's the stupidest
Yeah.
thing.
Punch me so I don't die in prison. Okay.
That
Okay.
wasn't Bugbear who said that.
It was Bugbear, wasn't it?
No.
Oh, no, sorry. Bugbear. Sorry, I got mixed up my notes. He's the one who did die in prison. Maestro.
Yes.
Punch me so I don't die. Sorry, my notes were
Yeah.
close together.
I
Yeah.
was like, girl.
I'm sorry. No. I'm telling you, my notes were just, I looked at the wrong paragraph.
That's fine. That's fine. I just,
I promise.
Okay. Bugbear is the one who didn't ask for a lawyer, just dry pants.
Yeah.
I loved that. Okay, I want to talk about Maestro getting arrested. Because I remember when I watched it and like they break down its door and then throw in the flashbang, and he just sits there with his like cereal. He's just chill. And I was like, what a weird choice. And then when he like was like, I've been waiting for you, I was like, oh, less of a weird choice.
This is my Captain Crunch, just vibing.
I do also want to know why they let him get dressed. Like that didn't feel real to me.
You know? That's your qualm with this episode?
Yes, that's the moment that it lost me. No, I'm kidding.
Sure. Yeah.
All right. Any other thoughts before we move on to our other stuff?
One more, and that's that I like that we had Velasco as an undercover like driver again. Like
at
he
the
should
end?
do that always. Like
Yes.
That's my favorite thing that he does, and I like that little shtick.
Yeah, I liked that. I liked that he got to do stuff.
Yeah.
Sorry, gotta go back to the rape tree. And the idea that they're asking people to identify their undergarments from the tree picture.
Yeah.
Like, are you kidding me?
Yeah. The whole thing was just, I mean, it was bizarre in like an SVU way, but I feel like they really could have amped up the bizarreness a bit more. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. It's so
I'm gonna say
weird.
something weird. I'm gonna say something weird. Ready?
Okay. Yep.
I wish that the concept of a rape tree with the underwear on it showing trophies was for a better case.
Yeah.
Like, I wish it was for a more interesting case, and not gang related. Like, I just think that what a weird concept.
I
And you could
agree.
do something else with it.
Like, listen, we said at the top of the episode, like, this is a very serious show. In real life, it's horrifying and terrible.
Absolutely.
In fictionalized TV, though, that's so weird. Like, that's so weird and specific. And, like, we could really go in and do some strange things with that we just didn't. It wasn't living up to its weird potential. It wasn't Send in the Clowns. It could have been Send in the Clowns.
Yes.
That's shorthand for like a weird episode for me. It wasn't Send in the Clowns, and it could have been,
Yeah, I'm imagining a younger perp who like really enjoys climbing trees, and like that's
right.
his weird
like
kink.
Squirrels or something. Like, make it weird.
Yeah.
Make it weird.
Yes.
It wasn't weird enough. You didn't go full weird.
Yes, because like what a horrific, fascinating concept.
Yeah. Yeah, you have an idea like that. Why are you wasting it on Duarte? No, like, I don't care.
Alice Jones in the chat coming in with the fact a runner and their dog could have discovered
exactly, Alice. Thank you. Classic SVU right there.
100%. All right. Let's move on to our favorite lines.
Yeah. I got it.
All right. I think I said one earlier, which was he didn't ask for a lawyer, just dry pants. I also got you first, moneybags. And this one, because we need to talk about it.
Uh-huh.
If you were in Bx9, your street name would be Aspirin because I get a headache every time you're around. Sir, that's not how aspirin works. Aspirin doesn't give you a headache; it solves it.
I thought that was a pretty sick burn, though. I liked it.
I hated it. I was like, then her name would be Headache.
It should have been. I thought he was gonna say like mosquito because like you're always,
Yes. Yes.
Aspirin was a weird choice, but I did like it still.
It was like somebody had a thought and they were like, ooh, this will be clever, but they couldn't think of the name it should be. And so they went with aspirin.
Just say like migraine,
Yes.
Many ways to solve that.
Yeah. Sorry. Those are my lines. Hit us with the lines.
Okay. You can trust this white lady. She's one of the bleeding hearts who wants to save the world. Olivia immediately goes, you talking smack about me?
He starts talking to him in Spanish, and I was like, she speaks Spanish. Does he knows that, right? Everyone knows.
Honestly, yeah. And then she act all confused. Girl, say you know what he's saying. Little bastard did try and chop you up. I love how they just kept saying chop you up. I don't know. Just think the specificity of the word chop really was funny to me.
It's because he had a machete.
I know, but chop you up is just such like it's just like such a funny way to phrase it to me.
All right.
Who is she? Some kind of velvet house cat? Okay. From what I hear, he robbed a church. Adorable. And then going along with that, heard he shot the guy who robbed St. Anne's. As a practicing Catholic, thank you. You're not bugbear here, son. We found your rape tree, dumbass. Oh. If 3 people tell you you're drunk, you're drunk. I said that's the universal truth. I thought that was actually very poetic and real.
Yes.
Congratulations, you just became my maestro. Punched him in the face. What the hell was that? Empathy. So cheesy, but I was here for it. You got the DOJ out of your underwear drawer. Speaking of underwear.
Yeah, that. Unacceptable.
What a transition.
Unacceptable segue.
A transition. Finally, this is when I let them just go grab him a beer. You buying? I could, but you're rich. That's fair. I was like, these 2 are so fun.
Yeah. I agree. I think we should see more Bruno and Finn. Yeah. People in the chat are agreeing. Where was it? Aaliyah says, why did Olivia stop speaking and understanding Spanish? Great question.
It's not like that was complicated Spanish. I got like a D on a Spanish final, and I was like, I'm following, you know? Like, it's not hard Spanish.
I really thought that like the first part that she was like, "Oh, is he talking about me?" was her like playing up this idea like you can talk to him without me if you need to, you know, like playing this game, right? To get this kid comfortable talking. But
Interesting.
that was not where it went.
Yeah.
So there's that.
So there's that.
Yeah.
Also, like, we need to just bring up, we talked about it a little earlier, but just like the feral scream in the woods was really choice.
It was. According to, hold on, I saw it in the chat. One moment. Scrolling up. I lost it. Aaliyah says, Reddit says, the scream was improvised. I 100% understand that. I was saying understand, and so it came out percent.
I liked it.
I understand the impulse and I understand the thought, and I think that it could have worked, but it didn't. Like,
it was not the right pitch of scream, and that's such a weird note that I have. But it should have been like a high pitch, more feral. You know what I mean? It was too much of a contained scream. It didn't feel raw enough to me. Not to critique acting, but I just didn't feel right. It didn't feel like the right kind of scream there.
It's also possible that like the way it was edited didn't make it, like didn't help it. It also was like where it happened in the dialogue. They're just, I think a scream there works. I think the scream we were given doesn't.
Yeah, it felt off. It felt off to me. It felt random almost.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what? Is it that it didn't feel improvised? It felt directed. I think that's the problem.
Yeah, I agree with you. It was too controlled. Like, it just wasn't. And like, I know, like, Mariska can go full on in. Like, we've seen her do that a million times. And it just didn't feel unhinged enough. It felt too held back.
You know what would have, the scream when she's beating the shit out of William Lewis, that's the scream we should have gotten.
Exactly. Yeah, it just was not, it wasn't working for me as is.
I'd like if somebody could please make an edit where it's that scream on top of that, it would be great.
Someone make an edit of like the screaming goat.
Yes, please. So let me tell everybody something fun. Here on the S Review show, I sit through organized crime so that you don't have to. I have something to tell you. This episode was so boring that I completely forgot to watch organized crime. So I didn't watch this week. I doubt we missed anything that connects, seeing as how there was no news about it. That said, according to the preview for next episode, which will be this next week, it looks like Stabler's going to appear. There's a real spoilery shot that it seems real teasy and whatever. I don't believe it.
I don't either, because they pull this shit every other week and we eat it up. We meaning
me?
Yeah, I know. We meaning me and the other delusional EO shippers on Twitter.com.
Sure.
Eat it right up. We'll see. They gotta stop though. They gotta stop, and they never will. But I'll be sitting my ass in the chair tuning in. I'll be honest.
So I didn't watch last week's organized crime. Sorry. Not really. Okay, but I sit through it so that you don't have to, and you're all fucking welcome. Now, on that note, we received a review on iTunes. Not just a review. I also learned how to get the reviews to be full so I can read them all. So if you've left us previous reviews that I only read the first 2 lines of because I couldn't get it to expand, I have now read the whole review and I'm accepting and hearing your feedback. If you would like to leave us a review, please go to iTunes and give us 5 stars if you like us and 4 stars if you don't, because the other stars are broken. But if you give us 4 stars, you kind of have to tell us what we can do better. And if you've given us 5 stars, we would love to hear what you love. This is a very long review, so I'm going to read a lot of it.
How many stars is it?
It is a 5-star review.
Oh, whoo! I was like, did they fix the smaller ones? Thank God
No.
they didn't.
They did not. No, but I did see somebody ask how to do the live chat, and so I was like, "Here's how you live chat."
Oh yeah. Oh, I'm so excited.
But it
You have to
says,
read it. No, you have to read it in accent.
I will. Hold on. It says,
Okay,
because
sorry.
I'm a nice friend, I'll just ask Yael to read it in her Russian accent because I know she can do it.
Oh, great.
Okay. So 5-star review. The username is Ghost Jew, but specifically in emojis. So it's a ghost and like a Jewish flag. Ghost
Oh my God,
Jew.
obsessed.
I'm gonna try, guys. All right. So the title is, yes, I am a friend, but I would still like this show. Oh, I would still love this show. Love, not like love.
Yeah, come on. Let's.
Sorry. This accent's awful.
I love it.
Okay. I've been watching SVU since the early days when Monique Jeffries still existed.
I mean, I think hold on. She's alive, I believe. I don't think she's died, but I just wanted to clarify that anyway.
After 24 seasons, there obviously a lot to break down in show's history, and this podcast is the best place in town to do that. I love following the episode week to week with the S review crew. But my favorite are the library episodes. Still waiting for zebras, Yael. That is true. We've been requested to do zebras.
It's a great episode. We will.
Okay. Oh, it's getting Gru, and I love it. Thanks, Alice.
Hey, I want you to know, off topic but not, but that's how Rachel Weisz decided to do her Black Widow accent. She learned it by watching Despicable Me. And so you know what? Yeah, I swear to God, that's a fun fact for you. So you know what? That's a high compliment. You went to Rachel Weisz School of Acting.
Fuck. All right. I feel like I did so much better last time, and it's not coming right this time.
You're killing it.
Thank you. Oh, man. Okay, there's still more. There are many aspects of the show that can be dissected by people with different experiences, and there's a lot to enjoy with how the serious elements are broken down. But I also have dark sense of humor. I like that I'm reading it skipping words as though this is how I talk.
It's so authentic. It's so good.
Because it definitely is written complete sentences per correct English. Let me clarify that. Well,
that's because you're dedicated.
I'm dedicated. Okay. And I love that Yael always all caps, says the thing I'm thinking while I'm listening along at home. This is great shower show, by the way.
What? Wait, that is such a compliment.
You're watching this in the nude?
With the shower?
And she nude.
Wait, I feel like I've made it now, kind of. I don't know. Something about that just really touched me.
Oh, even when my partner isn't home, I never shower alone. Oh,
that's really
showers with us.
I'm telling you, that really hit me.
I'm so glad. There's more. There's so much more.
Let's go.
I look forward to 3 things in every episode. The will they, won't they of Taylor getting to say hope.
Yeah.
Seeing who is forgotten, the what did we learn part. Yep. And Yael being so angry that she watches organized crime, so I don't have to.
You can tell she's a real fan, or he or they are a real fan, because those 3 things do happen every episode.
You say hope?
Well, yeah, because when we do the RAINN Hotline, yeah. Sometimes people like to take that my little job away from me, and I get very upset. I'm very protective of that role.
I completely forgot about that.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh my God, there's so much. All right.
I love it.
I have rewatched SVU an embarrassing number of times, but this show is so awesome that I have also gone back and listened to episodes over and over again as well. Oh.
Oh.
And then because I am nice friend, I asked Yael to read Russian accent. I know she can do it, and I'll die laughing.
Thank you for your service, honestly. This is a gift to me too.
Thank you. Oh my goodness. Oh, thank you. That's the review. Thank you so much.
Nice. Thank you. I'm telling you, I didn't know it was a bucket list item for someone to listen to me host something while they were in the shower, but certainly that was, and I know it today. It's a monumental day.
That was a beautiful review. I'm honored. I also really appreciate the comments in the chat about my accent. Aaliyah says, clap, clap, Yael, the master of accents. I really hope that was sarcastic. And Taylor says, yeah, your accent's perfect. I love it. I also hope that was sarcastic.
Hard agree.
Yes, it has been requested the next time we do an old episode, Zebras, and that is the top episode we will do next time we do an old episode, specifically because Ghost Jew has requested it. / she texted me and said, please do this episode. And I was like, oh yeah, good call. Bing, bang, bong. We gotta.
Bing bong.
Yes. Which brings us to... It brings us to... What did we learn? I'm prepared this time.
Then you go first.
Okay. I've learned if 3 people tell you you're drunk, you're drunk.
Yeah.
Literally, there was a lesson in the episode.
I think that I learned that punching someone in the face is empathy.
All right. You know what I actually also learned is that Rachel Weisz learned her Russian accent from Gru.
Yeah, I'm not kidding. Like, I've watched pretty much every interview with that woman for reasons. Sure. And that came up, and I'll never forget it. That lives in my mind rent free. Actual interview asking her seriously, how did you? And she goes, I watched Despicable Me. I'll tweet that out actually so you all can see the proof because it's very funny.
Yeah. I honestly don't know what happened. I feel like I used to be so much better at that accent, and it has gone downhill.
I liked it. I really liked it.
Thank you. I appreciate that. If Lizette wants us to do Disabled, which is the Teddy Sears episode, we have a list. We have like a huge list, and I will put that on it. So, we will eventually do older episodes, but I feel like we're so busy doing.
We just do Babes again.
Is there more to say? Is there more to say about Babes?
No, I just want to rehash it like every year.
I see. You could re-listen to the episode.
That's true.
Of our podcast because,
shower.
In the shower. In the nude. I love that you can rewatch and listen to us on iTunes, Spotify, YouTube, wherever you listen to podcasts. Make sure you have rated and reviewed on the iTunes. That's where we're reading these comments from. We do very much appreciate the comments on YouTube as well, but that is not where we're finding these to read with the accents. What else did we want to say before we wrap things up? Is it that you can buy Babes merchandise at the link below?
You can. Certainly can. And there's also other merch as well. There's like sweet merch where Noah, who is he still at Connor's house?
Yes.
Okay.
I said, remember when she what did I say? She's storing him there?
Storing him there. And I was like, is he still being stored there? So yeah, I think he is. I think you're right. But he had that very sweet line about being yourself. And there's some merch inspired by that. There's some merch where you are prescribed orgasms with consent, which is very important.
As needed.
As needed, yeah. Which
what's so funny about that merch? It makes me laugh. That was Felicia's idea.
It's great.
That merch is Felicia's concept.
It's her baby. Yeah.
I love that.
It's great. There's so much good stuff. Justice for Snowball.
Speaking of that and Felicia, I don't know if you saw, she posted on Instagram a photo. She met the sociopath. What's his name?
No, Henry?
Yeah. Henry Mesner.
Is she alive?
She's alive. She was like, I talked to him about, she really posted that she talked to him about Shameless. And I was like, I'm sorry, you did what?
That's such a betrayal.
Yeah. So if you want to check that picture out, I think you have until this evening to do so because it was in her stories.
That's amazing.
Hilarious.
I have a
yes.
weekly poll if you guys want to know what that is.
Oh yeah, I forgot about it. We do that. That's a thing we do.
It's okay. It's not the best.
Yeah, I haven't seen it. What is it this week?
Well, so last week or the week before that, I guess, last episode, I asked what your favorite episode featuring the Bronx was.
Why would you ask that?
Did you? Because if Bronx was featured, and I just couldn't think of anything else. Last was other. Comment below. No people commented below, so I'm just guessing that they didn't like any of them, which, like, fair enough.
That should have been an option.
Yeah, they were like, I would rather not. So I guess we have a tie for second place, actually. One of them is Hunt, Trap, Rape, and Release, one of the best / worst titles ever seen on the show.
It's just a disappointing title. The title's fine. It didn't match the episode.
No, not at all. We then had tied with that The One You Feed. That was the second episode of this season, which I actually liked quite a bit. So I don't know why that one didn't win. So the episode last week, Jumped In, was the one that won. Okay. But also, why was this one not called Jumped Out then, I guess, is my question.
It's Jumped In, Soldier Up, and then Something Out.
Wait, this is not the last one in the trio?
No, this is the second one in the trio.
You just ruined my day. I'm not kidding.
I'm so sorry. Hold on. Let me read the episode titles to you. So it was Jumped In, Soldier Up, and Blood Out.
I thought the first episode
was the process. It's the process of the Bx9.
Oh, yes. Well, that does make sense. But, like, I thought the first episode would have been the one with them on the subway.
Yeah, Alexandra Diaz in the chat says Blood Out. Yeah, thank you.
Blood Out.
Yeah, no, that's the process. Oh, stupid.
Okay. Well.
Also, Papa is Spanish for potato.
Yeah, like Papa's Fritas.
Yes.
It's French fries.
Yes.
I passed Spanish.
I took Spanish.
Barely. This week though we have a different poll.
Okay.
And I'm realizing I made such a bad mistake because I should have put a third option instead of just it being other, but that's okay. I want to know what your favorite gang member name was. Our options are Bugbear and Sacrilege. I should have put Maestro. I just didn't even think about it for some reason. Sorry. So if you want Maestro, just put other, and then I'll just assume it's Maestro. Because I was like, I don't know. Maybe they mentioned other people's names.
Is it Aspen? They did. No, they do have. They had other names, right? There was Pretty Ricky, who's dead. Right. Albert had a name too.
That's why I was like, okay, I'll put other, but Maestro should have been third, and then other should have been fourth. But
whatever.
Well, whatever. Honestly, who's gonna vote that over Bugbear? But I also like Sacrilege just because of why he got it. I thought it was like Raptor Church adorable. Like, I just thought that was really funny. So I was like, those are my favorite two. So I'll have you pick out of those two.
I really hope that the score is Bugbear is really high and Sacrilege is really low.
Right now Bugbear there's only 4 votes though. So right now Bugbear is winning, but there's still time. Still lots of time. But yeah, Bugbear is great. Will you start calling me Bugbear?
Sure.
Can I call you Sacrilege?
No.
Why?
Because that's not me.
Can I call you
me
Maestro?
Sacrilegious? Please.
Yeah, that's adorable.
Sacrilege does totally fit me.
That's what I'm saying.
All right, Bugbear, we'll tell you where to find the poll in a second. I think that's all we wanted to promote. Usually we do the poll and then what we learned. And I fucked it up, which is so expected.
It makes up because you did that amazing accent and you did so much so much service for us by doing that.
Thank you.
Forgive you. Yeah.
I really do love reading the iTunes comments. So please keep reading them. And I have found I'm so embarrassed that for whatever reason, when I open the podcast app, I would go to reviews and the reviews is just 3 lines and it would cut off. And I don't know how I found the proper place to find the full reviews. And so now I have that bookmarked. And so I will not make that mistake again. So if you write a long review, I will see the whole thing now.
Good.
But I do recall there was that time where the review gets cut off after the person is mad at me for putting Barbara and Benson as siblings.
Yeah.
And now I've read the rest of it, and they were very upset with me.
Well, sorry, I should have led with that.
Anyway. Okay. Check out the merch, rate and review us. Keep watching. We'll be back next Sunday at our regular time to talk about the new episode, which drops this week, which continues this bullshit Bx9 story, but also features organized crime coming in and Stabler showing up. I assume organized crime is coming in and not just Stabler showing up, because it does feel like this is an organized crime case.
Who knows? Who knows what they're going to do?
I know that I think Lizette kept telling us in the chat that we get a Rollins update, but she's not on the show. So
sad.
If it's not Barbara, I don't really care.
I care, but it wasn't like super substantial.
Right. Okay. I think that's it. Yeah, we're done. We've talked enough.
Yep.
Have we said enough about the actual episode and the shit that happened, or everything else?
What does it matter, you know?
That's fair. I'm going to remind everybody, if you need help, please reach out to RAINN. Their number is 1-800-656-4673, 1-800-656-4673. They have like a chat online if you want to talk to them online rather than on your phone. It's anonymous. Please reach out to them if you need help. That's really, as much shit as we say here on the show, that is actually important. But also we say a lot of shit. And if you want to continue talking shit with us, please find us on social media. Taylor, where can everyone find you in the poll?
You can find me in the poll on Twitter at bug_bear.
Go get it. Go get that fucking name.
I haven't changed it to that yet. You can actually find me at alphaba_Ann, and you can also find me on Instagram at Taylor_Gates_.
Thank you, Bugbear. I am Sacrilege. You can find me at Yael Tygiel. That's YAEL2YGIEL. On Instagram, I've abandoned my Twitter. So if you're tweeting at me, I see it maybe once a week. Maybe, if I remember to go on. What else do I need to tell everybody? If 3 people tell you you're drunk, you're drunk.
You're drunk.
That's all you need to know. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you next week. Bye.